Hello and welcome to Who Dares Rolls.
I'm your host, Mike B.
Hello. It's been a while. It's going to be a while more, to be honest with you. Quick catch up. So, I've got a cracked tooth and an impacted wisdom tooth, which is very painful. I had a trip to A&E the weekend just gone because I was in such pain. Yeah, not good. Abscesses, all sorts of stuff. So I've been on some really good meds for this week, which has spaced me out. Really just fucking away with the fairies. Very happy, euphoric, but yeah, wow. So I'm going in today to have that dealt with, pulled out, which I've had a tooth yanked years ago, and it kind of was like having gone 10 rounds with someone particularly violent, and I don't recall being that sprightly afterwards. So chances are I'm going to be out of picture for a week or two, maybe, because I'm not going to be able to speak, which is an advantage for most people. So we'll see how that plays out. If it's not so bad, then maybe not. But I mean, so anyway, quick video dropping here to say, yeah, this is what's happening. I'm going to possibly not have a video out for a while, because I'm just going to be not going to be pretty. There is a couple of bits I've got filmed I need to edit, so if I can function enough on a level to do that, I will. I'll get them out, and there you go. So let's crack on just quickly. Why not? Fuck it, why not? Let's throw this in now. So what have I been playing? Played well. So we've been digging into my father's work. Oh my god, this is, I think I've probably got in about 6, maybe 7 plays of that now. I've played at least a couple of times of all the scenarios, although actually I need to go back and revisit the first one again with the app, because I don't think we played that with the latest version of the app. Thoughts and feelings and all that we've kind of covered already. It's a worker placement game with an app that kind of does this ever-evolving storyline, and it does. I've played every single version of the game I've played. I've not had the same series of events play out. There's been differing player counts in that and different stuff, but yeah, it has not played the same. There has been alterations and variables to that, and there's still a bunch of stuff I know in each of the scenarios that I have not seen yet. I think there's 8 different endings in total in each scenario, and I've only seen a couple of each of them. How big they differentiate and how massive the difference they are, I don't know. Definitely there's a few I can say that they're quite different. So yeah, all of that, brilliant. Okay, it was a Kickstarter only. I don't know if it's going to, I reckon it'll probably get another crowdfunding rundown. I suspect it will, and I suspect they might revisit with some more expansions, is my feeling and my gut at the moment. But for the time being, it was Kickstarter exclusive. It's only on Renegade Store, occasionally at cons. It is going to become increasingly trickier to hunt down. I would say if the worker placement app story driven thing is in any way of interest to you, the gothic horror type feel, this does do it. It ticks all those boxes. It's beautiful, lavish production. It's very good. Now, I will say at the moment, one takeaway from the game is, and it's not a black mark against it, it's just to be aware of, if you focus solely on completing your experiments and not worrying too much about the wider story that's going on and what's happening and over the 3 generations and that sort of stuff, there's a pretty good 99.9% chance that you are going to win the game. Because I've played a few games now and I've kind of diverged into looking at the different stuff that's going on, just kind of tweaking stuff and pulling levers and pushing buttons, because, you know, we're mad scientists and I want to see what happens. Whereas Robbie a few times now has played it, has pretty much done that 0 point focus, bang, I'm going to go and do this is complete, and cracked up the victory points, and has won the game a couple of times now doing that, whereas I've come a couple of times closer to him, but a lot of times way behind him. So that's a point worthy of being aware of. But if you can take that side, and if you find that's what you want to do, then so be it. I enjoy the journey of exploring all the odds and sods. But that's the only thing I would say is it's kind of to be aware of. If someone's going to play just the game and not focus on that stuff, there's a good chance by the look of it they're going to win, because I don't think the scenario issues are enough to balance out all their points versus maybe if they don't do the good stuff. I can hear the baby monitor chirping away just in the background. I'm going to turn it off because I know what's going to happen in a minute. It's going to interrupt me, and then I'm going to go, fuck, so I've been interrupted by a baby monitor. 2 seconds. So yeah, there, Father's Work. Anyway, there you go. Really good gothic horror, app-driven thing. Fantastic. There's the thing I said about the gameplay of it, but aside from that, and the app being a bit yanky in places, I think it does need a patch. There is a few scenarios, there's a few wiggles in it, and the back button on it tends to cause utter destruction if you do it. So there are still issues with the app, but it is playable, and I've not technically found anything really massively game breaking. So, but yeah, to be aware of. But yes, I like that. Then we played Terra Mystica. We played 4-5 player game of that. I haven't played that for a while, dug it out, we played it. The intent was behind it to play it again, to refresh ourselves, to then throw in the Merchants expansion that I've owned, where I picked up cheap, I think last year. I probably sat on it for nearly a year. It's my feeling at the moment. Chuck that in there to play. I like Terra Mystica. It's a very heavy Euro. It's heavier Euro. If you've not played as an older one now, they just put out a big box edition of it. It was the first one that I'd encountered that had the game where you took stuff off your board and opened up resources that you could do. Which subsequently was used in Scythe, but this was the first one to do it, and that mechanism really kind of tickled me. I really enjoyed it. It has kind of a vague theme of different fantasy races, as themey as these type of Euros go. And I quite enjoy the thing because it has a little bit of take that in there, a little bit where you're taking over territories and you can potentially screw your opponents a little bit during that, and there's a few other options, but it's just a taste of that. But yeah, I generally like the thing. It is definitely a thinky game. There's lots of asynchronous races, all with different powers. It's kind of cool. I've not even played with them, I don't think. And actually, the base game itself is a solid, if you're into that heavier worker place, well, it's not worker place, Euro game, then it does the thing. It's a good game. I think it's really solid. It's why I've kept hold of it. I do like occasional figgies, and I like this. It's just got enough, a bit of theme, bit of interesting mechanisms going on there, a lot of bits and pieces, just moving parts, and just enough level of randomish for my liking, and it's good. So I want to play it. We haven't played it with the expansion. I've skimmed through the rules on that. They're relatively straightforward to add in, so hopefully we might give that a crack at some point down the road. But yeah, Terra Mystica, very good. If you've never played it, try and hunt it down. You might be able to get just the base version, the older version, cheap now, actually. I don't know. It was quite expensive because there's a lot of wood in that box. But it's a cracking game. Then we played Carnegie on the Friday last, which we played a few times, one of Ben's. I understand the concepts of it. Now, when I played Carnegie, I was, at that point in time, on some of my whizzy drugs, I think, if memory recalls. And I didn't necessarily really have a good night on that because I was a bit away with the fairies, if I'm honest. I played it, I was kind of a bit of pain and drugs, and yeah, it didn't really lock in. So I kind of had a disastrous game. But I'm willing to admit that I was mainly down because I was off my tits. But yeah, fun times there. And we played poker and I lost some money on that because, again, I was off my tits. Whether I get to play this week, I don't know, because face and all that, what we'll see. There you go. That's what I played. Let's do some news very quickly. News. Here is the news. News, a couple of bits. Now there's a bit older bit of news, but I read it down here when I was originally going to do it. Frank West, designer of City of Kings and Eye of the Cats, he's done quite well for himself of late. I like Frank. I met him years ago when he was on the City of Kings road tour, just pitching it for the Kickstarter, when he didn't have the company really as such, and it was kind of the beginnings of his journey on gaming. Well, he's just been announced as president of Gamma, which is, for me, is quite a step up. So well done, congratulations to Frank. I mean, he's come a long way. And since I met him last, he's definitely come a lot further than I have. But yeah, I wish him well. City Kings was a cracking game, gorgeous, lovely game. I haven't played it nearly enough. I've never played Isle of Cats, but I've heard very good things about it. So well done to him. Gamma have had their problems, so he may have his hands full. We'll see how that pans out. Just announced on the last day or so is Disney. There's a Disney trading card game coming via Ravensburger called Lorcana. The extent of that, I don't know. I mean, we're talking kind of a Magic the Gathering type thing with the Disney IP splashed over it. I mean, Disney have an awful large stable of stuff now, including Star Wars and the original Disney stuff, Pixar stuff, and even the Fox stuff. So I don't know where that sits. Or what they would do. So I don't know. It's Disney. It's going to be huge, I imagine, for that. I mean, they're going to be pushing that big. I don't tend to have time to trading card games, or more importantly, the bottomless pocket that they require. But I have enjoyed them in the past, and Millennium Blades is my fall to go to that feel for that thing, if I can get my brain around it. And the other news, TCG news actually, which I did notice, was also Doctor Who is now in Magic the Gathering. They're doing a whole Doctor Who range of Magic the Gathering series or something, which is kind of crazy as well. So that's happening. Then I just saw literally the other day there's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game coming, because I love a bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not entirely convinced it's going to transfer very well to board game. The general gist looks like it might be one against many. Someone's basic liver faces go around trying to catch the people while they try and fuel the van and escape Texas. And if he catches them, he takes them to the murder room and bonks them on the head with a lump hammer, I imagine. So I don't know. I can't see this evoking any of the real gut-punchy, satirical, weird, crazy Toby Hooper vibes of the 70s exploitation classic, I suppose we could say that. I mean, it was quite a movie. It didn't have a lot of gore in it, by the way. I mean, I haven't seen it for years. But yes, I don't know. Texas Chainsaw 2, maybe, with Dennis Hopper action figure, I could be probably swayed into going for. So there's that. And in other news, actually, just thinking of that, I spotted the other day, there's a bit of kerfuffle. There was the Jurassic World Legacy board game, Isle of Nublar or something coming, which was being done by Prospero Hall. I think this was Ravensburger. I'm not certain. That went to Kickstarter randomly, weirdly, which kind of did all right, but I looked at it and it didn't seem to be worth banging the money at. Just wait for retail. Which is a weird choice all round. Just go to Kickstarter with no actual Kickstarter extras was always a bit weird. Anyway, there's been a Vassal review drop, or one of his team have dropped a video review where they slate it as being pretty fucking awful, and it's got a kerfuffle. So I kind of feel bullet dodged at this point. It looks like it might be a bit of a seafall. But on the plus side, if you wait a while, you might be able to wet your whistle with a cheap version of a Jurassic World board game legacy thing. At which point, if I could get it for sub 20 quid, I might give it a pop. But yeah, just to be aware of, that's happened as well. That is it. Other than I did see some sad news the other day, which is kind of very gaming adjacent news, but it's part of my growing up childhood and all that sort of thing, is Oliver Frey passed away at, I don't know how old he was actually. Probably it can't have been that old. I don't think he was that old. Maybe in his 60s. I don't know. I should have checked that. Anyway, Oliver Frey, he was the artist behind the Zap 64 Crash 48 or whatever it was. I don't know. The Crash, Zap, all those publishing. In my childhood, there was this really garishly well illustrated, beautiful airbrushed art, kind of no licenses worried about and all this sort of stuff. It was back in the old days where the Wild West and the 80s video game world, where kind of everyone was doing their own thing, and they didn't have art and they didn't have the production companies. So he would put out these wonderful covers on Zap, these really evocative, kind of garish, bloodthirsty, great covers. And I remember that was one of the reasons I picked up those issues, was just for the art alone. They were fantastic. He also had a sideline, I think in the 80s, of drawing for like, what was it? I forgot what it fucking was. Yeah, I'm stoned. So yeah, just really fantastic. Just if you were in that period of time and you lived through that, you would know his stuff. I mean, I'm showing some of it here, hopefully. And it is stunning. What I also didn't know when I was reading his obituary the other day was he had illustrated the comic book that opens the original Superman 78. That was his. He did that, which is kind of cool that I didn't know about. So anyway, yeah, Oliver Frey, definitely a shame he didn't maybe get bigger. I don't know. I mean, he did well for himself, I guess, but he's not a name that's kind of there. But yeah, as part of my growing up and my childhood, was astoundingly good. And I salute you, sir. Good work all round. And then, well, that's that. What have I been watching? I don't know. What have I been watching? Better Call Saul, I think we covered. I finished that. It was fantastic. It was really good. Murders in the Building, only Murders in the Building. Very good. Season 2 was just kind of a bit meta and crazy. And that's worth a watch. I would suggest that. I watched a bunch of old movies on Disney Plus. I watched Romancing the Stone the other day because I haven't seen it for years. That was mildly amusing. A lot of risque stuff you wouldn't be able to get away with now. What else did I fucking watch? Anyway, I've been watching lots of old crap, really, is what I've been doing. It's Big Trouble in Little China. Can't watch enough of that, surely. Anyway, that's it. There's not really anything really grabbed my attention. Sandman was fantastic. I need to watch actually the new episode that dropped the other day on that, and I need to watch Top Gun Maverick. I will at some point. That's where I am, but I've been watching lots of crap. Oh, Innocent Blood and Time After Time as well. Watch those. I've just been watching lots of random old shit, which is irrelevant to you unless you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, there you go. That's us. I don't know when we'll catch up again. I hopefully soon. We shall see, I guess. But yeah, I'm not going to have the fun next 48 to 24, 72 hours sometime anyway. It's definitely the near future is going to be painful. Anyway, have fun, look after yourselves. I will see you soon. Until that point in time, play some games and stuff, and enjoy yourself what's left of the summer before it gets cold, and then we have to sell our children to heat the house. Yeah. Ta-da, have fun and all that. Bye-bye.